Hi, I'm Nancy. Welcome to Mindful Yoga. Today, our focus for a gentle version of a routine that brings focus onto the shoulders to some extent and keeping the shoulder girdle strengthened and also softened. We will also be looking at some breathing that brings attention to a long exhale, a letting go. And finally, we'll be doing a moon salutation, which is adapted for a gentle version. It would be great if you could have a chair in order to do that. We'll begin by breathing and getting some posture going here. You might be in a chair or you might be on the floor. So either way, any place that you can find a position where your hips are grounded down. If you're in a chair, you'll want to be at the front edge of the chair, or else have your buttocks way back into the chair so you have really good lumbar support, and your feet can be flat on the floor or well supported. Let's take a moment here just to arrive into our yoga practice. Feeling the weight on our hip joints, the connection with the earth through feet, and whatever is touching the earth. Rock forward and back a few times on your hip bones and find the center place between front and back. Then bring your attention to your lower ribs, letting the eyes be soft and the mind's eye inside the body as you kind of jut the lower ribs forward and then let the lower ribs come back and kind of slouch down. Coming through middle, jutting lower ribs forward through middle and slouching so that the back ribs come back a bit behind the hips. Find the center there in between those two extremes so that the hips are above the, the lower ribs are above the hips. This allows for freedom of breath. As you inhale, expand in the lower ribs, the side and the back of the lower ribs, expanding with those inner muscles as the diaphragm dips down. We breathe the belly. The belly does not do the breathing, it receives the breath from the muscles of the diaphragm and those muscles inside the ribs on the side and the back. As you exhale, let everything go. Muscles relaxing, letting all the musty old air out. Releasing down into the earth. Filling with breath, new and fresh in the inhale. Letting go of the murky and the musty as you exhale. The Radiant Sutra reads, breathing out, let go, and fall into knowing all of creation as existing within space. Lengthening the exhale little by little so that the inhale becomes a little bit shorter and the exhale a little bit longer, maybe twice as long as the inhale. Breathing out, let go. You are absorbed in that vibrant, empty fullness. In this moment, your body is intimate with space, exchanging essence for essence. Balancing in the midst of vast emptiness. no utter freedom. One more inhale and long exhale. Then continuing that long exhale, inhale, exhale, chin to chest. Inhale, chin rises, gaze rises. Exhale, chin to chest. One more time, inhale up. Exhale, long chin to chest. Eyes come to the horizon. Inhale, exhale, chin round towards one shoulder with a long exhale. Inhale forward, exhale round same direction. Inhale forward, opposite direction, chin to shoulder. Inhale forward, exhale round to the same shoulder, staying within your range of motion. Inhale forward, bring an ear over to the shoulder as you let out a long exhale. Keep length through the spine. Inhale up, feel that length from the pelvis up through the crown. Exhale over to the same side. Inhale up, exhale to the opposite side, ear to shoulder. Relaxing down through shoulders and neck. Inhale up, exhale over. Inhale up, and then inhale, bring the shoulders up towards the ears, and exhale, gently let them come down the lower tips of the shoulder blades, relaxing down towards the waist. Inhale up, hiking up the shoulders, and exhale down. One more time, find to hike up the shoulders when it's necessary to do so, not something we want to do as a result of anxiety. And bring it down. Now we're going to open the arms, inhale, and exhale, bring elbows towards each other, sides of hands towards each other, and chin goes towards the chest. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. Inhale, open. And exhale, close. Bring arms along the side. Inhale as one arm rises up. Exhale as that arm dangles over and we open up with a long exhale, opening up the side ribs and up under the armpit. Inhale up. Exhale long as you open up through the lateral aspect of the body, shoulder blades resting down. Inhale up. Exhale over. Make sure as your arm comes up that you're not hiking up the shoulder joint. Then come back over. Think about this time as you inhale up, let the shoulder joint stay at home, arm comes up and then over. And shoulder blades and the lower tips remain down. One more time, inhale up, reaching up through the fingers, tip of the shoulder blade still down a bit, and exhale over. One last time, inhale up and exhale over. Coming back through center, I'm going to take my blocks out from under me a moment. Bring hand over to the opposite thigh, other hand comes behind. Inhale up through the crown and exhale just 50% around, looking to the side. Inhale, round arms coming out to the sides. And exhale long in a slight twist to the side. Inhale, round. Long exhale, spiraling the spine. And one last time, round. Exhale, letting go, falling into knowing all creation exists within space. And come back through center. Now we're going to do an eye exercise. Eyes go up to the left corner and come down to the right corner, diagonally across the eyes, up to the left corner, down to the right corner. One more time. Exercising the eyeball muscles. And then eyes go up to the right corner, upper corner, and down to the left, lower corner. Diagonally, upper right corner and lower left corner. One more time. Now bring your eyes to the left corner, not the upper, but just over to the left corner. Arc up and over to the right far corner and back. One more time. Then bring the eyes over to the far right corner of the eye. Come down, look down, and over to the far left corner of the eye and back. And trace that one more time. And bring eyes to center. If you have glasses, take them off now. We're going to rub the palms together, building up some heat between our palms to warm our eyes after that little eye exercise. And take a breath with a shorter inhale and a nice long letting go out breath. If you have glasses, feel free to put them on again. And we're going to come to a lying position. Take your time as you come down into a lying position. As you come down, letting the hips sink down into the earth, shoulder blades, the head heavy against the earth or the mat. Feeling your calves puddled against the mat. And then we're going to bring the soles of the feet together. You might take your hands down to give a little support underneath the side hip joints. Just letting the inner thighs stretch open here. Then bring the feet so that they are wide, one on towards each side of the mat. So knees are wide, feet are flat. Arms can come to about 45 degrees with the palms up. Let the knees come over to one side and then the other side. Gently back and forth. Let it be a narrow rocking at first. It gets a little wider. Let the breath continue to relax down through the shoulder blades and the shoulder joint. Then you might bring the feet and the knees down a little farther towards the floor. Just pausing in that situation. The knees one knee might touch the floor or not, either way. Respecting where you are at with your body. Then as knees come to one side, turn the face to the opposite direction. Crossing through the middle, knees go to one direction and eyes to the other direction. Slowly back and forth. Next time, raise the arm that is going to go in the opposite way of the knees, coming with the eyes over across the body. That arm comes back, knees come across the top, the opposite arm comes up and over, fingers going in the same direction as the eyes. Arm in. Eyes going in one direction, a little stretch in the shoulder joint as you do this, and the knees going in the opposite direction. One last time. And come through middle. Bring the knees up above the hips, raise the head and shoulders, fingers come behind the skull, elbows are wide. Extend one leg out and one knee up towards the chest, just a slow leg extension here, drawing in through pelvic floor and pressing down with the abdominal muscles towards the spine. For 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let the head come back. Arms come out from the shoulders horizontally. Legs go up towards the ceiling. Let them be parallel. Heels go towards the ceiling. And then slightly take some attention to the shoulder blades back there. Where are they? Are the shoulders hiked up at all? Are the shoulder blades relaxed? Shoulder blades just comfortably against the ribs. And then we're going to turn the shoulders, attention now coming back. I'm sorry, not the shoulders, the ankles. I didn't bring my attention back. Turning the ankles one way 5 or 6 times. And then round the opposite direction. Let legs come apart and then cross, slowly coming apart and crossing, doing some horizontal scissors here, a little opening up through inner thighs and also a little stretch through the sides of the thighs as well. And some exercise for those muscles. For 3, 2, and 1. Bring the knees down with the feet on the earth just below the buttocks. Take opposite elbows in your hands. So elbows are bent above the shoulders, hands on either elbow or somewhere on the forearm. Let the top of the arm come down on one side, across the middle, and over to the other side. Back and forth slowly a few times, opening up through that shoulder joint. Relax down through the shoulder joint so that the shoulders are not elevated up towards the ears, and the shoulder blades are resting comfortably against the ribs, against the mat. The lower tips of the shoulder blades comfortably resting down towards the waist. And one last time. Bring the arms along the side. Weight comes into the feet, the heels, and the shoulders as hips rise up and come down. Keep your eyes on the shoulders here, squeezing in between the shoulder blades as the shoulder blades come towards the spine and coming back down. Coming back up, hold for a moment, engage through the pectoral muscles, the muscles the top of the torso in the front, bringing them in towards the middle of the collarbone and the breastbone, so that those muscles are also helping the back muscles in the bridge pose, and come back down. And one more time, lifting up just a straight line from shoulders through hips to knees. Kind to the lower back here, strong through the upper torso front muscles, strong through the glutes and the muscles in the back, and bring it down. Let's take a nice long stretch. Lift up through one wrist and push down through the heel. Let the organs have a little bit more room. And then unstick the organs on the other side as you lift up through the wrist and down through the heel. And rolling over. We're going to come up into a standing position once again. And the rest of the practice will be in a standing position. Bring the feet wide. Hands come onto the thighs just above the knees. Let one shoulder go towards the opposite knee and then the other shoulder towards the opposite knee. Back and forth a few times. If this doesn't work easily for you, you can always use the back of the chair to help some support as you do the same thing. Then coming back through middle, we're going to do a cat-cow. Your hands can be on your thighs above the knees, and tailbone will rise and fall as the gaze goes up and down. Alternately, you can always do this with hands on the back of the chair. Whichever place we are, making sure that our shoulder blades are resting down the back. We have this trapezius muscle, a diamond muscle in the back, that the lower fibers, the lower part of the diamond, bring those shoulder blades together and down in the back. Just an easy resting down. And bring it up and come up to a standing position. We're going to do a gate pose. So having a chair on one side, bring one foot out to the side and let the foot that's going to be your foundation leg that doesn't extend out be here by the chair. So a little bit of bend in that knee. Let the hand come down the thigh, other arm comes up and over. And just hold there for a moment, strengthening one foot. You can always have your hands still on the chair. So always that option, some strengthening through the hip here. And then we're going to come back up and the other arm comes over. Toe might stay on the earth or it might lift up a little bit or a lot. This arm might be up or it might be over. So lots of versions here of this, and come back up. Let's try that once again. Foot comes out, arm comes up, hand slides down the side. This upper arm might stay on the chair. Shoulder joints are resting. And come back, hand on the chair, weight into that foundation foot, toe might stay on the earth and arm might come straight up, it might come over, foot might come up farther. Find what works for you here and bring it down. Then we'll do the same thing on the other side. You could just turn around and use your chair in the other direction, or you might move your chair. Find your foundation leg on the side of the chair. That knee bends a little bit. The other leg comes out to the side. You could be on the heel or plant the sole of your foot. So just find a comfortable place for that foot. Let the hand slide down the thigh on that side. And the other arm can come up over in a side bend. It might stay on the chair. You might be a little closer to the chair if you want to hold the chair. Letting the heart be open forward. Tips of the shoulder blades being pulled down by that diamond shape on the bottom of the trapezius. And then coming up, bring the weight onto the foundation leg. Other arm comes up and over, or perhaps it stays straight up. And the toe can stay on the mat if you would like. So in any condition, you are strengthening this foundation leg. Let's try it again. Foot comes out to the side, up and over. And then coming up on the other side. Maybe in a side bend, maybe arms straight up, maybe foot down. And bring it down. Good job. Let's do just a little bit of balancing here. Hands come to the waist. Find your foundation leg on one side. If you have a chair there, let your foundation leg be the one that is nearer to the chair. And you can always have your hand here resolutely, or you can have it lightly there and maybe lift it up every once in a while, depending on what your possibilities and limitations are. Come up onto the toe of the other leg. So you've got the foundation leg near the chair, and let the hip flare out a minute on the foundation leg, just getting a feeling for what that's like, jut a hip out. And then bring it back with your muscles on the side of that hip. So when we have a strong foundation leg, we want those hip muscles to be engaged. And then we're going to just raise the knee up. 3, 2, and 1. Next time you raise it up, you might bring one arm out. You might bring 2 arms out. You might fly. And bring it down. And then bringing the chair around to the original side. Find your other foundation leg, again, near the chair. Let's jut that hip out with our other foot up on its toe, just to get a feeling for what that's like. We all know that feeling of jutting our hip out, maybe as we carry a baby or groceries or whatever. And now we're going to bring it in, using those hip muscles on the side to keep that hip from flaring. And lifting the knee for 3, 2, and 1. Perhaps keeping that knee up. Perhaps bringing one arm out. Maybe 2 arms. Maybe flapping your wing with one wing. Maybe flapping with 2. And bring it down. A little balance practice there. Now we're going to do the Moon Salutation. So having your chair here, we'll be using it soon. We start with a side bend. If it's available to you, bring your arms overhead. Hands might come together, or hands on the opposite forearm, or even on the elbows, the opposite elbows. Inhale, and then exhale, come over slightly, feeling a stretch up through the side hip and across the ribs on the side and up through the armpit. Inhale up, exhale over. It's not a huge side bend. Inhale up, exhale over, lower tips of the shoulder blades resting down. Although you realize that when your arms are up, the shoulder blades also rise up. So just bringing engagement to the shoulder blades, but also engagement on the sides of the body as well. And let hands come down. Bring the hands back behind the sacrum with fingers down. Knees and hips are soft, opening from sternum down to pelvis, pelvis to sternum. Keep the chin tucked, just a slight back bend. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. And bring it up. Bring the hands down the back of the legs to the knees. And you might come around with your hands on your thighs or your hands on your shins or around your knees. Extend out from the hips out through the crown. And if you want hands on the chair in front of you, that's fine too. If you would like to come down into a forward fold with head coming down, that's fine. Either trying each version and then coming back up. We're going to bring one foot forward and one foot back into a long, low lunge with our hands on the chair in front. and come up onto the toe of that back leg and come up and down, pulsing, rising up in the hips. So not so much bringing the whole body forward, but rather rising up in the hips as that heel rises and falls. And you can feel a nice stretching, pulsing in the calf. Quick attention to the shoulders, shoulder joints soft, and the tips of the shoulder blades down. Also bring attention to your front ribs. Make sure they're not jutting out. And bring that foot a little bit forward. We're coming into a pyramid, both legs more or less straightened. Hands might be on the chair here as you open up in the back of the legs, or they might be on the thigh in the front. Now we're going to turn our back foot so that it's at 30 degrees or so behind the front foot's heel. And we're coming into a triangle. So we're supporting our side with our muscles underneath the waist, stretching our muscles up on top of the waist, and the other arm comes up. You can keep this hand on the chair, or it might come down with the back of the hand by the knee or thigh. Feeling the stretch of the triangle. Notice how the shoulder blades are different. Relaxing through the shoulders and coming back up. Now we're going to come into a star. Arms are diagonally up, feet are diagonally apart. From here, we're coming into cactus arms with the arms. Feet go out to 45 degrees, out towards the corners of the room, and come down with the tailbone, straight down towards the earth, just a little bit. And then we'll come up with the tailbone, cactus arms stay the same, and down, and up, and down, and up, and down. Back to star. Arms come down, and we're coming back to the side bend. So once again, feet are underneath the shoulders. Bring one hand so it's pushing as if it were pushing across your navel, and the other arm is going to come up for the side bend as you reach up and over and dangle your arm over. Shoulder blades easy in the back, front ribs staying at home, not jutting out. And come back to the other side. Other hand pushes through at the navel, and the other one comes over. Inhale up and dangle over. And one time on the other side. Inhale up and dangle over. Both arms come down. Hands come to the sacrum in the back with the fingers down. Pressing against the sacrum, knees are soft, hips are soft, opening from pelvis up through sternum, squeezing the shoulder blades gently towards each other, keeping a tuck in the chin. Slight back bend here. And then coming up, bringing the hands down the backs of the thighs, bringing the hands around to the front of the thighs or onto the chair. A half forward fold as we stretch from the tailbone up through the crown of the head. Option to come down into a forward fold if you would like. Hips rise up slightly. And then running the hands back up if you've come down, up the shins, and coming into a long, low lunge. This time your right foot is forward and your left foot is back, at any rate, the opposite of what you did before. Lifting up through the heel and down, and bringing that focus to the hips coming up and down as the heel comes up and down. Feeling that nice pulsing through the calf. Check out the shoulders. Shoulder joints soft. And then we're going to bring the back foot forward one step. Both knees are more or less straight. And we're just opening the back of our legs here, bringing the torso more or less parallel with the earth. Hands might come to the front of that leg, increasing the opening a bit, but doing this very gradually. Then the way I'm doing it right now, I would turn away from you into a triangle on this side. So I'm going to turn around. We want to do a triangle on the other side from what we did before. And the toes are going forward, foot behind the heel at 30 degrees. And both legs are more or less straight here. Bring the hips back, open through the chest, reach forward, and then come into a windmill. And of course, you might have your hand on the chair. So either way is fine. Experiencing this opening through the top side of the pose, the weight on the underside of the pose, strong muscles there. Opening through the chest for 3, 2, and 1. And then strong through the belly, coming back up. Let's come back to star. Reaching out through fingertips, maybe twinkling with your fingers a little bit. And then we're going to come into goddess as elbows bend, knees bend a bit, tailbone comes down towards the earth. Bring the hands down to the thighs. And we're going to come forward just a bit. Heart comes forward and back up. So this is not a big movement, just bringing the heart forward a bit and hips reach back a bit. One more time. And bring it back up into goddess and back up into star. And that is our moon salutation. Let's come back to either sit down in the chair or lie down for a minute as we end. If you do choose to be in a chair, you could just bring one ankle up onto the thigh of the other leg. And you might even lean forward a little bit to increase the stretch. If you're on the mat, you could raise that leg and bring hands behind the thigh. In either situation, stretching through the piriformis muscle that runs from the spine out to the top of the thigh bone. One more inhale with a long exhale. Let the foot come down. Whether you're in the chair or on the floor, bring the hand, the flat of the hand, into the inner thigh of the figure 4 leg. Relax down through the abdomen as you press gently. It's not a big press, just a slight press on that inner thigh. At the same time as relaxing through the abdomen, the hip joint behind the waist. Also relax through the cheeks and the jaw and the tongue. Eyes are soft here. The back of the neck relaxes. The area between the shoulder blades in the back. One more in-breath and long out-breath. Then bring that foot down. Other ankle comes up on the opposite thigh. Perhaps you bend over a little bit towards that thigh if you're in the chair. If you're on the mat, raising up that leg. Relaxing down through ankle, calf, the back of the thigh, the hip joint. Two more in-breaths and out-breaths here. If you're on the mat, the foot comes down. Mat or chair, bring the flat of the palm against the inner thigh, pressing gently, relaxing through toes and foot, up through shin and thigh bone. Relaxing through the deep muscles of the abdomen, the psoas. Profound relaxation here. Feeling softness creep up the side of the body, through the liver area, the lungs, up through the side of the neck and the ear, the temple. Let that softness creep into the crown of the head. Open to space all around us. And then releasing that leg. Legs can extend out, or knees can come in towards each other, leaning towards each other, finding a comfortable position. One last inhale and long exhale. Feel free to stay in this position. If you'd like to come back into your day, maybe give your knees a hug. Perhaps you can bring this long exhale a few moments now and then into your day. If you're coming up, rolling over into a sitting position, bringing hands together at the heart. May we breathe out long and be absorbed in space. Again, just every once in a while as we go through our day. Namaste. Thanks for practicing. May you be well.